Let's talk about discussing the book Grounded with your kids. Hi, I'm Mary Wilson, online book club teacher, and this week in my 11 to 13-year-old book club, we talked about the book Grounded. There are so many things I love about this book, but I just want to give you a few quick discussion points that you can share with your children. First, grounded is written in a rotating point of view. So there are four main kids who are at the airport when their flight is grounded, and each one of their perspectives is written by a different author. And I think that makes this rotating point of view very unique because you end up with very strong characters because each one has a very unique voice and is being written by a specific person. So I really loved that. You can ask your kids what they thought of it. I will tell you, some of my students thought it felt a little chaotic because at the beginning, you haven't gotten to know any of them really well before you're already rotating every chapter. Other students absolutely loved it the whole time. So see what your kids think of it. Another thing that I think is a great discussion point for this book is the setting. The setting is in an airport. And all of the planes have been grounded due to a storm. So I talked to the students about what specific things about that setting really work well in this story. Could it happen at a mall or a hotel or somewhere else like that? So we talked about the uniqueness of the airport, bringing people from all over into one building, which wouldn't necessarily happen at a mall, but could happen at a hotel. Then we talked about the uniqueness of the flights being grounded. When you're stuck in a building, there's nowhere else you can escape to, nothing else to do, which really lends itself to there being an adventure for these four kids to go on. If you're at a mall, you're just going to go home. Or the hotel, there's plenty of other things to do. But at an airport, there's really not. You're kind of stuck there. So the setting works particularly well. Your kids might come up with, oh, they also came up with the fact, so they're looking for an animal that's been lost. And the airport is a great place to contain that animal so you believe there's a chance you will find them, but also give you enough room to explore. So we discussed that. Now, with the rotating point of view and four authors with four very strong characters, this is a great opportunity to talk about character traits. I love to give my students a list of character traits they can look at and pull from as they think about each character. It's hard for anyone to kind of try to pull personality traits out of the air, and having a list in front of you is very helpful, especially because our main goal is actually having our students, our children, defend their choices. So why did you choose that character trait? What did that character do or say, or how did they act that made you pick that word? So we're not trying to get them to come up with the words themselves. That's not as important as being able to look at that list and pull words that they think work for each character and to defend their choices. And we can disagree. One of the characters in here, Feek, I actually asked them, do you think he's responsible? And we had a little debate about it. So just know we're not going for the right answers on the character traits, but more helping them practice to defend their choices. All right, and the last thing that we talked about, well, we talked about a lot of things, but the last thing I'm going to suggest is that I read to them a little bit of a definition of a coming of age story. Now, often we think of coming of age stories as the characters being a little bit older, kind of coming into adulthood. But when you look it up, coming of age can be stories about maturing through personal growth, moral growth, worldview, or identity. And these kids definitely mature and have personal growth. They definitely learn more about their identity. So that was a really fun thing to discuss with them, is how do we see these individual characters kind of come of age in their own way? So I asked them, what lessons did they learn about themselves? How did they improve their situations in their homes? A lot of them were having different conflicts with a parent that they needed to express and talk about. So we kind of talked about some of those different things. They learned to be more secure and confident in who they are. They learned that by accepting themselves, other people can accept them. They learned about seeing people as individual and unique people and asking their parents to do the same for them. So it was a lot of great discussion. This is a real fun one. While there's a surface level adventure of trying to find a cat in an airport when all the flights are grounded, there are much deeper things going on. And that's where the real great discussions can happen. All right. Thanks so much and happy reading.